comes the fucking threat from this managerial class of wanker. And I've done a little bit of research on this article, and it did have serious ramifications for her and her business after she wrote this. This is a super spontaneous video based off of an article that I read, which has fucking blown my mind. It's written by a CEO in an opinion piece in the Washington Post about how remote working is bad and everyone should come back to offices. Haven't even written any jokes or any comebacks to this. I just want to go through it as a reaction video based on the fucking nonsense that this article is. Right, so essentially, she's a big boss, she's a CEO, and she is writing to basically say, you must come back to the office. Her reasoning behind this is incredible, and some of the threats she makes is incredible. And I've done a little bit of research on this article, and it did have serious ramifications for her and her business after she wrote this. So on the 6th of May, this was posted. It's by Kathy Merrill. She's CEO of Washingtonian Media. The headline is, as a CEO, I worry about the erosion of office culture with more remote work. Let's get on with it. Like many fellow small business owners, I'm excited about the prospect of returning to in-person work. She's not a small business owner. She's a CEO. She's not running a fucking grocery store. But we are struggling with when and how to safely reopen our office. Fine, that's a fair enough concern. Also, like my peers, this is her words, she's talking about other CEOs there, I am concerned about the unfortunately common office worker who wants to... I can't believe she's even writing this at the beginning, who wants to continue working at home and just go into the office on occasion. How dare they? They're unfortunately common. These people with opinions who care about the quality of their own lives. In several group calls with chief executives, I found a great sense of pride in how well our teams are doing during the past year. No, you're not. You're already criticising them. However, we all started at a place where we and our employees knew one another, which made remote working considerably easier and more productive. Did it make you more productive though? I worked in offices for 19 years. Let me tell you something. I was not fucking productive in offices. You fucking chat to people in the kitchen, you piss around, you have long lunches, you sit on the fucking toilet on your phone. And, anyway. We could also rely on office cultures, established practices, unspoken rules and shared values, established over years in large part by people interacting in person. Yeah, fucking social pressure from your fucking boss who's sitting next to you. Now we face recreating a workspace where a good culture of trust will be harder to build. So what she's saying there is, we don't trust you. How can we have that trust if you're not sitting next to us and I can fucking watch over you like a hawk? Lo and behold, who would have thought that working in an office was actually about control, not about productivity? One of our biggest issues we talk about, every time she says we, she's talking about CEOs here. One of the biggest issues we talk about is the apparent age gap. This is the first brilliant excuse we get into about why we need people back in the offices. Anecdotally, I've heard from many CEOs that their older, more senior employees working from comfortable homes and happy to be relieved of commuting are more reluctant to go back to the office than younger colleagues, many of whom have been working from small apartments or their parents' homes. And consulting firm PwC, they're fuckers, found that fewer than 1 in 5 executives wanted to return to the shared workplace as it was before the pandemic. For the business owners, this disparity poses a real problem. So what she's saying is, hey, it's not us old fogies who want you to come back to the office. We want to do it because it's going to help the kids. I don't fucking think a single millennial or Generation X, which is my generation, is going, please let us go back to the fucking office, commute for 2.5 hours and be at your desk by 8:30 in the morning working so we can fucking care about you. Get a bit annoyed, sorry. As the economy rebounds, we need to hire and attract talent. To do so, we will need leaders on site. Yes, again, we need more people just to look at what you're doing. Consider the son of a friend of mine, a young investment banker who was courted by 2 firms last fall. One said that his employees wouldn't be back in their offices for at least a year. The other said that theirs would be back as soon as it felt safe. He picked the latter. Well, there we go. Case closed. I know one person who's an investment banker, just like all fucking millennials. So, hey, we want you all back in the offices. Proof. More importantly, you want to be around a brain trust of more... what is that word? He wanted to be around a brain trust of more senior people. What the fuck's a brain trust? She's just making up words now. You want to be back in the office, yeah? Because of a brain trust of people. Fucking brain trust of more senior people whom he could learn and connect with, man. Yeah? Now listen, I understand. Several of my mates have got new jobs during the pandemic, and not being in the office as much is obviously difficult. Part of going into an office is having mates. I've made some really, really good friends from several different jobs I've had. That bit is the only disadvantage about not going into the office, the kind of being mating. It's got nothing to do with a fucking brain trust. It's got nothing to do with a fucking brain trust. How will we persuade new employees to come aboard and, more importantly, stay if they don't have any leaders that can build solid in-person relationship with? Listen, right, I've sat next to my bosses in work before. I've had some nice bosses. I've had some fucking bosses. And I can tell you something now. I never thought to myself, I want a fucking leader brain trust to help me out here. What's happening is they're like, control, we're losing control. While some employees might like to continue to work from home and pop in only when necessary, that presents executives with a tempting economic option that employees might not like. Here comes the fucking threat from this managerial class of wanker. Listen to this. I estimate that about 20% of every office job is outside one's core responsibilities. Extra. I almost can't read it out. It's beyond the pale. It involves helping a colleague, mentoring more junior people, celebrating somebody's birthdays, things that drive office culture. If an employee is rarely around to participate in those extras, management has a strong incentive to change their status to contractor. Instead of receiving a set salary, contractors are only paid for the work they do, either hourly or by appropriate output metrics. This would also not mean not having to pay for healthcare, a 401k, which I believe is a pension in America, and our share of taxes, like employee taxes basically. Benefits that in my company's case add up to roughly an extra 15% of compensation. So what they're going to do is they're going to say, if you want to work from home, yeah, we'll make you a fucking contractor and we're going to remove 15% of the extra compensation you get, and we're only going to pay you for what you fucking do. Well, guess what? You should only be paying us for what we fucking do anyway, you cunt. Jesus fuck. Imagine that. Imagine having a job where you fucking get paid for what you do. I worked late all the time. I worked in an investment bank where I fucking worked late till fucking 8, 9 o'clock every fucking day for a year. That's what happens. This is why they want you to be in the offices, so they can bleed you and bleed you and bleed you. It's a cultural pressure to make sure you don't fucking leave, so they can keep an eye on you to make sure you're not checking your phone. They can keep an eye on you to make sure that you're staying late. They can fucking keep an eye on you to see who's in first. And breathe, and breathe. Not to mention the potential savings of reduced office space and extras such as bonuses and parking fees. So they're literally saying, we're not going to give you bonuses. Look, we give you bonuses because you come into the office. But if you don't come into the office, we'll make you a contractor, we'll take away your perks that we have to give you, and we'll reduce the fucking bonus payments. Fuck off! That is an astonishing piece. You have to come in the office to celebrate people's birthdays. It's an astonishing fucking paragraph written by a boss who is the most clueless cunt I've ever fucking read. Anyway, furthermore, we will need feedback, good and bad, to successfully manage employees, and they need it to succeed. So what's this feedback? If it's not based on output, you're working from home, right? And it's not based on the work you're doing, because she's already said that. It's not about the work you're doing, it's about the extras. So what she's essentially saying is, to judge you successfully, we need you to be in and do extras. You can't just do the work that you're paid for. A friend at a Fortune 500 company tells of a colleague who was hired just as the pandemic hit. He struggled. He wasn't getting the job done. It was very hard for the leadership team to tell what the problem was. Was it because he was new? Was it because he was not up to the work? What was the specific issue? It's always, we're doing this for you. It's never about profit. It's never about them. It's always about you. How can we help you develop? Anyway, worse, no one wanted to give him feedback over Zoom. Well, that's a fucking issue about your management, mate. Get them to fucking give feedback over Zoom. Why couldn't they? I had my yearly appraisal over Zoom. Professional development is hard to do remotely. Now, I do understand, right? There is a certain argument to that because you bond with people more when you're in person. But if everybody's working remotely, you can give feedback on fucking Zoom. I'm sure during the pandemic, like I was, you can get fucking sacked over Zoom. Next bit. People considering just dropping into the office should also think about FOMO, fear of missing out. It's just about you guys. We don't want you to fucking miss out on celebrating a birthday. Those who work from home probably won't have FOMO. They'll just have MO. That's missing out. The casual meetings that take place during the workday. Do you know how many times the managers have had a go at me for fucking talking in the kitchen or something? Even if we're talking about work. Fucking, they just want to keep the beady eyes on you. Do you have 3 minutes to discuss X? These encounters won't happen. Maybe if you are at home, you'll be zoomed in, but probably not, as one CEO put it. There's no such thing as a 3-minute Zoom. Yes, there fucking is. You go on Zoom for 3 minutes. Being out of that informal loop is likely to make you a less valuable employee, and then we might have to sack you. All we're saying is, if you're not in the loop, we might have to fucking get rid of you, you cunt. So that paragraph starts with, hey, this is about fear of missing out, guys. We don't want you to miss out on the informal information sharing. And by the end is, we're going to have to sack you. While remote working is certainly industry and job dependent, and the future employment scene will probably be some sort of hybrid, I don't know, maybe, but we're trying to cram you into the offices as much as we can, the CEOs I have spoken with fear erosion of collaboration, creativity, and culture. Fuck off! Collaborative working was one of the buzzwords in my old work that just flew about all the time. Collaborative working. It doesn't fucking mean anything. What it fucking means is, we want you there sitting on a fucking chair so we can fucking look at you. Don't worry about the fact that your boss is looking. Don't worry about the fact that we'll have a go if you even look at your fucking phone, or you'll take too long in the toilet, or you're 10 minutes late from coming back from lunch. It's about collaborative working, guys. So, although there might be some pains and anxiety going back to the office, we feel your pains and anxiety, obviously. The biggest benefit for workers may simply be job security. Another threat! Straight away in there with the fucking threat. Remember, something every manager knows. The hardest people to let go are the ones you know. So, what you're saying now is it's not about performance, it's about nepotism and it's about your mates, is it? Fuck off! And that's the article. That's the fucking article. It just drove me mad. I cannot believe that a CEO sat down and penned that and thought it was a fucking clever idea. That's her trying to be restrained. They're trying not to say, basically, this is about monitoring what you're doing. We don't like the fact that employees might be sitting working with Netflix in the background. It doesn't matter about your productivity. It doesn't matter about you if you're getting the job done. We can't judge you if you're just getting the job done. We have to judge you in person when you're there, how you behave in the culture. What they've done is they've fucking revealed their secret, which is it's about who you fucking know. It's about how you look professional, not how you actually are professional. And it's about making sure that people are fucking sitting on a fucking seat so you control them and you can control their day. Anyway, I just did a very quick Google on her to see who she was. And something from CBS News has come up, which is CEO dismissed working from home. Her employees went on strike. Boom! The Washingtonian's reporters and editors appear to return to work on Monday, with new content appearing on its website after a temporary work stoppage on Friday. The editorial staff in the City magazine revolted Friday after its CEO penned an op-ed column saying corporate managers have a strong incentive to demote employees who don't return to their offices. If my fucking CEO wrote this article, fuck me! But there'd still be people in the office going, well, I'm going to come in anyway, just for the sense of completion. The executive also took the sentiment a step further, suggesting that remote workers can't participate in office life and associated activities like helping a colleague, mentoring more junior people, celebrating someone's birthday, things that drive office culture. Just those extras, guy. Just those little bit extras. Like staying late every day and just making sure that you're not 10 minutes late, yeah? Just making sure that you're wearing the right fucking clothes, yeah? Just making sure that you're adhering to every fucking single bullshit rule that we have for no particular reason, because it's not actually about your work, it's just about fucking control, yeah? Merrill's piece prompted outrage among many of Washingtonian's employees and a revolt, with journalists at the magazine issuing a statement on Twitter saying they would not publish any articles on Friday. Staffers told CBS Money Watch the piece was poorly worded. It's not poorly worded, it's amazingly worded. That's her most presentable front on the situation. Noses to the fucking monitors. That's what she really wants to say. But the best thing was, you might miss out on birthdays and bonuses. And they read it as taking aim at dedicated employees who have been labouring around the clock under trying circumstances for more than a year. Yes, this is exactly it. Without all the fucking effort the workers put in, the fucking CEOs have nobody. They treat them like shit as it is. I've said this before, but HR is only there so they can make sure they can fuck you up without getting sued. I worked in HRs for many years. It's not about being a people department. It's about who can we fucking fire and get away with it? How can we get around this interview process so we can hire the person we want? Corporations are about fucking over as much as they can to the letter of the law. Anyway, Merrill sought to diffuse the tension on Friday, saying in a statement to CBS Money Watch that the media outlet embraces a culture in which employees are able to express themselves openly, as long as, you still wear a tie, and you don't swear, and you don't talk loudly in the office, and you don't say anything inappropriate, and you know your fucking place, yeah? Individuality, by its very definition, is squashed in a fucking corporation. But still, here she comes. We just want to embrace a culture in which employees are able to express themselves openly. But just, openly in this really, really narrow margin of what I find acceptable, otherwise we'll fire you. Oh, I'm spitting everywhere because I'm so angry. The dispute highlights emerging complexities for companies across the US as they weigh whether to summon employees back to the office as the pandemic ebbs. They fucking will. Make no cunting bones about it. The moment the fucking law changes, you're all coming back in.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Anything else to say here? Blah, blah, blah. Fine. That's it. Hey, it's a shame there's no such thing as a 3-minute Zoom. It's a shame that's a fucking impossibility. Think about how many pointless meetings have been fucking avoided because of the pandemic. Now, any meeting that can be an email is actually a fucking email. Anyway, guys, I'm not in a corporate job at the moment. I don't know whether I'll get a corporate job ever again after this video, but the point is, if you are in a corporate job, make sure those fuckers don't pull you fucking back in just so they can sit next to you and make sure you're not fucking checking your phone. Anyway, right now. Good luck. Fight a good fight. See you later.
I'll tell ya, I'm gonna get fooled again.